test.
Oh, here we are.
That is my TV.
Your computer's
Good
a TV?
evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Casual AF, the gaming stream so casual that I don't even have a friggin' computer.
He's doing this on a phone, on a Nokia flip phone.
Like, oh man. It's a terrible day in the neighborhood. I'm here with Craig Bragg.
Yep.
Craig, how are you?
I'm a proud subject of the Canadian dictatorship we're now all in.
Yeah.
Have you been following what's been going on with regards to this tariff trade war nonsense?
Nah.
We'll
get there. We'll get there.
Okay, we'll get there. We can talk about it. I didn't listen to his forewarning. I did not listen to his speech because I can't stand the guy's fucking voice. But I've heard people commenting on it, and essentially he's retaliating. But we'll get to it.
We'll get there.
I'm a paying customer.
Guys,
what's going on? Why are you with Mr. Spark?
Because we're late.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, that's all right. It's Saturday.
As the title says, my superpowers suck.
At least you have superpowers. I don't even have those.
I fried. It's not good. Like, okay, I've been extra staticky lately, like super staticky, to the point where when I go to turn off a light or turn on a light, the shock hurts, and it happens almost every time. Okay, it snaps like an elastic band that you can hear in the other room, and when the light is off, when I go to turn it on, you can see the flash. You could see a flash of light at the tip of my finger, and I swear if we were to record it, you would catch the arc of electricity, of the plasma on film. It is so painful. Now, I also have a multiple screen display, and some people who've been watching, you may know, I have a beast of a computer, okay? Like, I put it together about 6 years ago. It still crushes most machines that they're selling you pre-built top of the line. Like, my CPU is effectively a server and multiple screen display, but one of my displays doesn't have a remote, so I have to go turn it off by touching it. So I go touch the power button, and there's that loud snap and the flash of light, and both my monitors and all the lights in my computer box flicker. That's how sharp this electric is. And this has been happening for weeks. And I think because it's coming from the TV, there's no surge protection, right? So whatever I'm doing, whatever I've been shocking it, has been getting straight into the computer box. And I totally fried the hard drive. The solid state hard drive is fried. And so we went to the Geek Squad. They seem to know what they were doing. We're installing the new hard drive, and then they're realizing there's more problems, right? Other things also aren't working. It's usually just the hard drive. It is not. I may have fried my CPU. I may have fried my motherboard. We're not sure because the Geek Squad isn't capable of doing this stuff. So I have to go to the specialist tomorrow. On the bright side, they refunded me they didn't charge me anything for the 7 hours they put into trying to fix this computer.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's really good.
What's the deal?
Yeah,
you're gonna buy
Geek Squad, right? If they can't fix it, you don't pay.
Oh, cool. That's pretty cool.
No, the specialists will take a better look at it and see what parts I need to replace, right? Hopefully it's not the CPU. Hopefully it's just the motherboard. Because, man, this will be an expensive rebuild. Nano's saying he stopped building his own because it was cheaper to buy 2 Dells. Yeah, but I mean, come on. Is your CPU a server?
Yeah, but do you use it as a server? Do other people access the device? Like, do you host games on it? It's a server. The purpose of having
I just render like 40 minutes. No, I can also render like 2 hours of video in about 3 seconds.
But you don't make videos
It just
anymore, Twin.
renders.
Yeah, but you
Not
don't
that I
make
make
videos
videos.
anymore.
I
You
know.
gotta start making. Once you get it back, you gotta start making videos again.
I know.
So do I, though. I haven't done a video, I don't know, months now.
Oh man.
Because I'm hardly going to the park. It's been too goddamn cold. Doggies can't take it. They got that thin
Yeah.
fucking Caribbean fur.
That's right. Yeah. They're just skinny bitches.
They are. They're very skinny bitches. Ugh. So what else is
No, and Nano saying, "Yeah, he just live streams every other week. He maps the ocean floor." Nice.
That's pretty cool. Do you like
what else is new?
from a
I don't
boat?
know.
He's got several boats, doesn't he? He has a yacht or something. WAGMI? Yeah, we can get into that.
Yeah.
So
Well, we're gonna have to.
how has your journey been? Or you wanted me to talk about my journey?
Yours is gonna be a sadder tale.
Not really.
So I don't know.
I'm feeling
like
I'm fine.
you
now.
gotta.
I what?
Oh, that's good. Okay, then I that's good. That's good that you're feeling better. You know,
Yeah.
gotta go see what the extent of the damage is, though. You did.
That's it. I expect
yourself,
it's not going to be. Yeah, I did hurt myself. So I was telling Twin before we started that I've been training with my old trainer. He's a bodybuilder. His name's Chevy Phillips, and he. So
Stop doxing people and hold on. I've got to. I'm sorry, Craig. I have to interrupt because this is fucking wild. Are you serious, Nano? Did you actually go? I don't even know if I can. Yeah, I don't even know if I can log into my subscribe. So that's how old.
That's funny.
Yeah, very possible. You may be giving money to the ether, but thank you. That's like holy shit. I'm gonna cry. It's gonna help. Just gonna help pay for the repairs of the computer. Thanks, man.
Buy one of his t-shirts. No, I'm not doxing him. He's a professional trainer, and you can find him online if you want. But anyway, he's a bodybuilder, and he's been teaching me proper form because turns out I've been doing bench presses completely fucking wrong this entire time. Anyway, I've been having trouble with my shoulder. I guess, yeah, I know. I guess Tuesday, I did something really bad to it because I woke up in the middle of the night, like 5 a.m. on Wednesday, and my left shoulder here was in absolute agony. So I didn't know what I'd done to it, but I was like worried that I'd done irreparable harm because it wasn't getting better. Like I could move it, but it hurt like hell all day to the point of like, you ever be in so much pain that you feel nauseous, like you're gonna throw up? That's how much pain it is.
Yeah.
That's what I felt like. So I made an appointment with my doctor for the Wednesday. Doctor said, yeah, he did some manipulation and says, yeah, you've got a rotator cuff injury. You've torn your rotator cuff, one of the tendons that wraps around the muscles there, connects the muscles to the bone. So he says, I want you to go for imaging. So I've got imaging scheduled for tomorrow, which is weird. I didn't even know they did it on a Sunday. And I'm going to take a look. And I tried to like duck out of my training with Chevy on Thursday. I messaged him, say, hey, just went to the doctor. I've done some serious damage to my rotator cuff. I also have pain in my sciatic nerve. So I think maybe I should lay off lifting tonight. We'll reschedule. He's like, no, man, it's okay. You can lift. I'll show you how to mobilize your arm so that your shoulder so that you can lift. I said, okay, as long as we do like light weights. So that's what we did. I went on Thursday, did light weights. I had a hell of a workout. I really felt like you know what, you got this magic watch here, and it tells you when you're hitting certain cardio load levels, like when you're at peak, when you're at vigorous, when you're at moderate,
Fitbit.
When you're at light. Yeah, it's a Fitbit type of program. Anyway, so this one I was in peak for like 15 minutes, even though I wasn't lifting terribly high. For my hour-long training, a quarter of it was peak. So I'm like, okay, that's all right then. Anyway, I'm feeling better now. It still hurts, but I'm going to do the imaging anyway. And yeah, but I've been enjoying doing the lifting again with Chevy. He's not cheap, but you know what? I'm getting more out of it. I also switched to LA Fitness, I told you that, right?
You
or as
did,
they call it,
yeah. I looked into LA.
they call it back
Price.
La Fitness. The cool thing about
It's
LA
French
Fitness for fitness, that's right. The cool thing about LA Fitness is it's unlimited guest passes. So every time I go, I can bring a guest. And it's comparable to what I was paying at Good Life. Their equipment is in better repair. Like it's nicer equipment. They've got very similar equipment, but it doesn't look like it's been through the ringer. You know what I mean? Like it looks like they take good care of it. And
yeah.
so yeah, you and I, we can do that workout video we've been talking about doing. You can come down to the LA Fitness. Oh, and my pass allows me to go to any LA Fitness in Ontario. So yeah,
Nice.
come to my gym. I can go to an LA Fitness near you. We can do some workout together. But yeah,
there's one.
How about you?
I was.
Yeah, I'm sure there's an LA Fitness out in Mississauga way. How about you? How's your fitness adventure going?
Until today, fantastic. Like I've been making some tweaks.
Yeah.
Anybody else hearing that echo or just me?
A little bit. It's intermittent. It's not always.
I've been making some tweaks to my workout and to my diet, right?
Okay.
Diet is the thing I have practice with from before, so that straightened out pretty easily. But the workout, what I've been doing is I've been gently increasing my cardio, and that's not even funny. Like I don't run or cycle hard. It's like a fast-paced walk on an incline treadmill.
Yeah.
But I've got that up to about 25 minutes now instead of a 8 to 10 minute warm up, right?
Right.
And then I've been reducing the weight on everything, but increasing the reps with very little rest time. So my rest times in between sets are now 30 to 45 seconds.
Okay.
While not going for max weights. But this is the fun part, is trying to figure out how much weight can I lift that I'll get at least 8, but I'll fail by 12.
Oh, see, that's
Right.
interesting. So now what you say about doing more reps at a lower weight and taking less time between reps or between sets, that makes sense, because if you're doing lower weight and it's taking you a long time to get fatigued, and even at the end you're not failing of your first set, let's say you're not failing, you're just starting to feel fatigued near the end of your first set, then you shouldn't need a rest, because that's essentially a warm-up set, right? It's only when you're feeling like you're going to fail within the next couple of reps that's considered like a full set. What I've been doing, because you know how I mentioned,
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, what were you going to say there? That
you know how I mentioned I've got golfer's elbow when I do regular dumbbell curls or barbell curls?
Yes.
Well, here's what I did. Here's what I did earlier this week when I did my arm workout. So I've switched up my workout a little bit. I'm doing legs focus. So 2 leg exercises for hamstrings, quads, and glutes on Monday. Okay. 4 sets of each exercise. Then a bicep exercise and a tricep exercise. 4 sets of each of those. I do the same with that particular those muscle groups on the Friday, but I switch it. So I start with the arms and I finish with the legs. So
okay.
Then in between, on Tuesday I work out with Chevy, and on Thursday I work out with Chevy, and Wednesday's a rest day. What I did was I was doing bicep curls with a very low weight, 10 pounds in each arm, but I did 20 reps and then rest for, like you said, like less than a minute, and then 20 reps. So by the 3rd set, I'm like, I'm struggling to get that 20th rep out. And by the 4th set, I fail, at 19 or 20. So it takes longer, but I don't feel the golfer's elbow pain. So, and because, I'm watching a lot of stuff about hammer curls, because I like hammer curls because they're comfortable, but yeah, it's only really hitting the brachias, right? So the brachial muscle,
it does less for the
The bulge, yeah.
Yeah, the one in there instead of the top of it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So
right.
that's
But
why I switched to doing regular
see,
barbell or dumbbell curls.
seeing where you're saying it takes longer for me because I was doing 5 sets of everything anyway,
Yeah,
right?
less time because you're
It's
taking less
actually
bulk.
faster.
Right.
Yeah,
Because you're
yeah,
because you're breaking for
and
less,
I'm
yeah.
just plowing through because, like, yeah, because when I was trying to do like okay, let's lift more weight, let's get the weight up, I would take like sometimes 3 whole minutes to go, no, I can do this. I just need to rest for a minute, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
It's Nano says, "I'm
so
going
you
for a
know,
Felix
like,
Jaeger build,
but
not a
now I'm trying
Gore-Trek."
to cut down.
I don't know who any of those people are. Who's Felix Jaeger? Who's Gore-Trek? Oh, those are
Oh,
Warhammer characters.
wait. Go Trek and Felix. Yeah, yeah, they're from Warhammer. Yeah,
Yeah, they're like, aren't they like isn't it a barbarian and a dwarf or something?
I think he's a bard.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Felix is a bard. Yeah,
Yeah, I think
and
you're right.
Gortrek is a
He's like
dwarf
a
slayer, right? He's
yeah.
like dual axe, no armor, just fucking flying
And
into
he
combat.
wears a mohawk, right? He's got a mohawk. Is that Gore-Trek?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Like all the slayers. Yeah.
I'm noticing my chest more. You can't see it in the shirt, but I'm definitely getting a chest. I still don't have the bum chest that I want, and my shoulders are starting to fill out. They're not as round as I want them to be, but they're getting there. And I've been really concentrating on my diet, eating more cleanly. But no real
Good,
my
good.
only real treat that I'm eating is a grenade bar, and that's 21 grams of protein and about the same amount of carbs, and like next to no fat. So I'm not concerned about the grenade bar.
Well, that,
It's got next to no sugar. It's got a tiny amount of fat, and it's just basically protein and carbs. So
I hear that's one of the problems with a lot of the protein bars is they may as well call them fat bars because they don't put
yeah,
sugar
you
in
know
them,
what?
so they're
Well,
loaded with fat.
that's what Chevy says. They're protein cakes. You're just eating a protein cake. It's like you made a cake and put a fucking scoop of protein powder in it. It's still a cake.
Right.
It's still got a lot of sugar and stuff in it. These don't use sugar. I think they use allulose or some other sort of sugar substitute. Not aspartame. You can tell it's not aspartame, but it's probably allulose, which is doesn't have the same insulin response when you ingest it. So yeah. Anyway, might as well eat peanut butter and
Good.
oils. No,
But
this
I've
is
been
my
getting my
treat.
cardio up, and
The grenade thing is my treat. Is what I'm saying.
yeah. But yeah, like I mean, diet is a thing for me that clicks pretty easily. Even like the first few days, like when because what I'm doing is I'm giving myself a whole lot of leeway. I'm not doing the crazy no sugar thing, the psychotic diet that I went on years ago to lose 60 pounds in 6 months. I did that. Still an accomplishment. But I am just sort of calculating for roughly 2,000 calories because I think my maintenance is in the realm of like 25 to 2,600.
Yeah,
So
I'm
when I
about
calculate for 2,000, that gives me at the end of the night, if I'm hungry, I can have a snack. And usually my snack lately, like I've got carrots, I've got baby carrots, right? So I can just mow however many baby carrots I want. But even if
yeah.
it's like, you know what, fuck it, I'm having a bowl of cereal in the middle of the night. Okay, it's fine because I'm still way under. So 200, 300 calories isn't going to kill me. And I'm spacing it out from now till the summertime. Like even my sister's wedding happened last weekend. That's why I was away and you were
Yeah,
doing
how was that? How'd that go?
the wedding was fantastic.
That's with
You
that's
know,
the
my
guy.
poor
She married that guy who you're good buddies with, your drinking buddy. What's his name? Or is that a
yeah,
different?
yeah, he's here in the chat.
Oh, is he? Is that
He's
Sean
here in the
Harmon?
chat.
Is that Sean Harmon?
Stop doxing my family.
Arms are getting bigger.
That's
Thanks,
my brother
man.
now.
Are you? I'm assuming you're talking about my arms. My arms are getting bigger, unless he's talking about twins' arms.
I think you might
Are
be
your
talking
arms?
about me. Yeah, like
Oh, yeah, your arms are getting bigger for sure.
he seems to think so. Like I said, it never shows on the camera, right?
Yeah.
People in real life see it. Sometimes I catch it in the mirror and go, holy shit. But here's the thing. The added cardio, right? that I'm up to like 25 minutes and I'm looking at the calorie counter. I'm like, that's a fucking sandwich. That's a whole ass sandwich I can eat because I did this extra cardio today,
you
right?
got to think. You got to
So
think
even
about it
late at night, if I'm hungry,
right? But now you got to think about it this way, though. Okay, so you realize you're burning about 300 to 600 calories on the treadmill or what have you, right? When you do a walk. Fact of the matter is, if you so let's say that's you're with your whole workout. Let's say you look at your calorie burn on your watch or your fitness app, and it says, "Oh wow, I burned 3,600 calories today." If you hadn't done that walk, you probably would have just done 3,000 just sitting there, right? So don't let it put you in a false sense of, hey, I can indulge. You know what I mean? I'm roughly doing about 23 to 2,400 calories a day, and when I look at my fitness app, it says I'm burning 28 and 3,200 calories a day. So I'm like, okay, so I'm 500 to 1,000 calories lower than I'm burning. But how accurate is it counting my calories that I'm burning? It's making assumptions based on my size that I put in and my weight that I put in and that kind of stuff, and my breathing and all that sort of stuff. But I don't know if it's 100% accurate. So I try not to look at it as like, hey, I just burnt 300 calories on the treadmill. Well, yeah, but just standing around, just getting up and washing the dishes and doing my regular day-to-day activities, that's about 3,000 calories anyway. So
sure, but also, right? Again, I've got a fair handle on diet, I believe, right? So,
no,
and it's not that hard for me. Like the discipline is like I've got the discipline, right? For the most part, it's like, okay, instead of a bowl of cereal, it's going to be a bowl of carrots, right? High volume. There's some sugar in carrots too, so that sort of like hits that craving, can shut it down. But and I mean, I started the week before the wedding, knowing full well that at the wedding and over the week, like there's going to be drinking and eating galore, right? So it was sort of like a wash, but I just wanted to practice all of this and get the cardio up. And the thing is, still in that 2 weeks, my pants are loose.
Good for you, man.
I have to go a notch over on my belt, right? So I haven't weighed myself, but it's like, oh, okay, no, it's working. I like it's and I my play room that I've left myself can include every once in a while, apparently, a whole ass fucking cinnamon bun. So like but today was just a very sad day with the destruction of the fucking beast, and so I have these two enormous burritos from Mucho Burrito, drinking like
Mucho
a fish.
Burrito's good though. Like
though
if
I
you
drank
look at
yesterday.
But if you look at the calories and the macros and even the micronutrients in a Mucho Burrito, provided you get the decent stuff, it's actually a good meal. It's actually not bad for you at all.
The macros are great. The thing is, I'm eating 2 fucking Muchos.
The large ones or the regular size ones?
The Muchos.
2 large ones or 2 regular ones?
The Muchos, man. Mucho is the biggest size they have, and I'll eat 2. I'll down 2. Yeah, so that's probably 3,000 calories right there.
You're gonna burn it off. Now, I will say this. That I like to dabble in the fasting world, right? I did intermittent fasting for a while. I was contemplating doing alternate day intermittent. I did a 3-day water fast, and now I'm thinking I might try a 100-hour fast because I was able to do the 3-day water fast, 96 hours and 4 hours. So in 3 days or 4 days and 4 hours. I think I might try it. I've set up a timer on my phone to count down 99 hours, 59 minutes and 59 seconds. And I think I might at some point, not right now, but at some point I might go, okay, today's the day I'm starting it. I'm going to stop, eat. I started at night before I go to bed. So I'm getting like 6-7 hours, sort of free time because I'm not going to be eating. And then just keep going for the 4 days and don't eat until it goes off again. Because that'll help you like sort of like purge a lot of shit in your body. There's a guy I watch. I can't remember his name. Sorry?
I can't imagine that at 100 hours you're not losing muscle mass.
Here's the thing. If you were at like less than 10% body fat and you did a 96 or 100-hour fast, yes, you'd be tapping into your muscle. But flabby 54-year-old me, I'm sitting at roughly 25 to 28 pounds or 28% body fat. And the way your body works is it will go for your glycogen stores, so your glucose first, the stuff that's readily available, the sugar, the energy that's in your blood, right? And any carbs you have in your system, it'll go for those, convert them quickly to glucose, and then use those. When they're all gone, it's looking for something to eat. And the first thing it sees is the fat. And it won't start going into your muscle until it's taken pretty much all of your fat. Now, that being said, I think if you really pushed yourself while you're under this 96-hour or 100-hour fast, yeah, you might see some depletion of your muscles. But from everything I've heard and everything I've read, your body's smart enough to know what to eat first. It doesn't want to eat your muscles until it has no more fat to eat. So that's my mindset, and that's what all these advocates of fasting will tell you. It's going to go for your fat first. Metabolism will try and metabolize the fat because it's stored energy. The reason you have it on your body is a evolutionary adaptation to put it there in case food gets scarce at some point. That's why we store fat, right? So when your body thinks, oh my God, he's starving, he hasn't had food for like 90 hours, I got to use this stuff up. It's there. That's what we have it here for. Your body starts consuming that first. Yeah, we got hit with the tariffs. Canada will not back down. Yeah. You run 3 times a week with a
We're gonna get to it.
The Bravo too. You trying to kill yourself? No. Oh, because you're going diving, right?
Yeah. No, we're doing that hardcore triathlon training, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't go that insane. My cardio is a squat. This is my workout: 14 miles on a rowing machine with 70-pound weight vest. Run 7 miles with 70-mile vest. With a 70-pound weight vest. 700 push-ups sets with 70-pound vest, and 7,100 sit-up set with 70-pound vest. 30 minutes in the sauna. Hey man, what's your body fat percentage? Because I gotta imagine doing that for a week. Wild. Yeah, doing that for a week is gonna
it's about 9.
Yeah, you're gonna burn off all your fat. Body eats fast before muscle. Fat exists to provide for the lean times. Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's how our systems evolved. Yeah, so I'm not concerned about it. I figure if I could do
it caps it.
Sorry.
No. I think there's a huge delay because of the bloody laptop here.
Oh.
It does tap it first, but you will consume and burn off your muscle mass at the same time. It's like 90-10, right? It's like 90% fat, 10% muscle.
You'll burn the water. You'll use the water in your muscles before you use anything else. You won't burn muscle fiber. You won't burn actual meat that makes your muscles. But yeah, I am very lean. I eat high protein, meat heavy diet. Good for you, Mano. That's cool. I've contemplated going carnivore, or I've tried keto for about a week or two. It's tough to do it when the person you live with isn't doing it. Plus, after trying it for a week and a bit, there are carbs in absolutely fucking everything, and you'd be surprised at how quickly you can get above 50 grams of carbs just by trying to eat. Even just trying to eat healthy, you're like, holy fuck! Like I just had a little bit of veggies with my burger or whatever, burger with no bun, and I've got a ton of carbs here. Like, how did I get so many carbs in this fucking all beef burger with a little bit of lettuce and tomato and some pickles? How did I get all those carbs? Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, but again, I don't recommend crazy diets for anyone, right? Like, there's very few people that are going to properly thrive and be able to sustain carnivore.
No.
Or keto or zero sugar or vegan. Like, it's very hard. Just eating clean and with as much meat and fiber as you can stomach, you're going to be way better off than most people. Right? Eat fresh foods that you make yourself. Lots of fish, chicken, beef, veggies, potatoes.
Yeah,
As
if
soon
you
as you
watch,
do that, suddenly you're gonna look and go, "Wow, I only had 1,800 calories today,
yeah,
and I'm stuffed." Like,
yeah.
it's wild.
If you look at all the people who do like keto recipes online, what the thing I don't like about
Mm.
keto is people look at it, people treat it like it's like a hack, right? To get the type of stuff that they're used to eating when they ate dirty crap, to get it in a form that has no carbs. So you see all these people who they show themselves before, and they're middle-aged women who were like tubby, and then they lost a bunch of weight by going on keto because they weren't eating carbs. But now what they're doing is they're going, okay, I loved potato chips when I was eating carbs, so I've got to find a way to make a keto-friendly potato chip. It's and they're looking for all these. So I got to find a way to make a keto-friendly pizza. Okay, fine, I guess, because pizza's nice and it's nice to indulge now again. But the thing you should be learned from doing keto is that you can eat healthily without relying on flour and processed carbohydrates like bread. There's plenty of carbs out there that can keep you, like leafy greens. They're all carbohydrates, but there's so little mass to them that you're not getting a ton of grams of carbs, right?
Yeah, it's very low in it. It's high in volume and low in everything else,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Which is it
Low
fills your
calories.
belly. It's loaded with micronutrients.
Right.
But yeah, like three whole cups of broccoli is like 40 calories.
Babies
Spinach is
like
even less.
exactly baby spinach. You can have a fucking plate full of baby spinach, with some shaved almonds on them, and maybe some cherry tomatoes, and like yeah, that'll fill you up, and you go, what the hell? Like there's only like 28 carbs in all of that, or 60 carbs, or 28
Yeah.
carbs
No,
in
28 calories.
28 calories, and like 14 of that is carbs or whatever. Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah,
Mm.
I love my homemade
But
brick
like,
oven
look,
pizza.
okay, so nice. But I have been thinking like about properly pivoting because I don't care about politics. I've given up. I've given up the ghost on politics. So properly
Well,
pivoting to something like a fitness channel, like fitness, like let's actually work on this as a thing. I have to get this to work, right? Come summertime, if I'm
yeah,
40 some years old and I actually
yeah,
have visible fucking abs and a decent physique, then apparently I kind of know what I'm doing. And the point is that look, I'm not doing some sort of like performance enhancing drugs. I'm not working out 5 hours a day. Like I've got a regular job, I've got a life. I want to go to the wedding and eat. I want to have drinks on the weekend. I want to lament the loss of my fucking beast of a computer by gorging on burritos. And if I can do all of those things and get my abs out, right?
yeah.
Then what we have is not, oh, wild fitness influencer with like a steroid build and a magic bullet that's going to work for you. We have regular guy fitness.
That's
We
right.
have it
Regular
figured
guy
out.
diet.
You're just a regular guy, right? Like maybe you got a family, maybe you got friends, maybe you can't go to the gym as a job like some of these guys, right?
Right. Yeah. You don't have
Maybe
the time
you
to,
want
to
to
devote.
maybe you want to get out of the shower and not hate what you see in the mirror while still going out for beers with the boys every once in a while, right?
I'm
I
I'm hating
I'm
I'm
pretty
hating
sure
looking in the mirror less. You know what I like getting like so
my man.
what I've been noticing lately. So I'm an old guy, probably has something to do with like a shrinking bladder and a growing prostate. I don't know. But anyway, I go to bed with a shirt. I don't wear a shirt to bed. I typically go topless in bed, just sleep in an underwear. So I get up in the middle of the night, sometimes take a whiz, and the light off of my phone charger shines on the wall that I'm walking from it and casts a shadow. And when I see my silhouette, I'm like, huh, I got the V taper. I've got the fucking shoulders now. I've got the what do you call these? The traps,
Nice.
And I'm like, oh, and then
Traps, baby.
I look at myself in the mirror. I'm like, hey, you know what? It's not a gut anymore. It's not abs. It's like flabs. I've got flabdominals. Here, I'll even like show you my flabdominals right now.
I know what you mean, right? Where the fat is starting to hug the shape of them again, right?
Yeah,
The little divots. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, you're sinking in there.
I got flabdominals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have broad shoulders. I just want to get them looking like the Death Star, big fucking round things. So that's the hope. Yeah, you got good shoulders.
So Sean here is also a big guy, for me. Yeah, I think he's talking to you.
Oh, I've got good shoulders. Oh, thanks.
Right. The two of you are, yeah. Two of you are much larger men than I am.
How tall is you?
Like 6'1" and 6'2".
Yeah.
And broad. Yeah. Like your height. Right. Like one of you 6'1", the other 6'2". Right. I'm not sure which. And yeah, you're both big dudes. Like large humans. I'm a medium human.
With three bullet holes in your abs?
I'm closer to Greg Doucette than you
guys. Is Greg Doucette a little guy, or are you talking about Jeff Nippard? Because he's a little guy.
So Greg Doucette is about 5'6".
Yeah, and I think
Jeff
I
fucking love Greg Doucette.
Jeff Nippard is, I think, like
5'4", and
yeah. Apparently Chevy knows Jeff.
And your boy Dr. Mike. Oh yeah, he's Canadian,
he's
right?
5'9", he's like 5'6", 5'8", 5'7", or something like that too. He's not a big guy, like tall. I mean,
no. Jeff Nippard is 5'4".
Yeah, and
he's shorter than Dr. Mike.
Yeah, Israel's a little bit taller than him. He keeps joking about how he's 4'9". Like I think the thing I like most about Mike Israel is that he cracks wise the entire time. He's like fucking making jokes the entire time, which makes it more accessible, I think. He's a very casual approach to his advice. I'm 5'6", but I have been to Robin and Sage and earned my long tab. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that means.
Neither do I, and I think he's lying. I bet you Nano Reaper's like a giant. He's like a giant sniper. He's like 6'6", 235 pounds.
He's been shot in the belly like 3 times. That's brutal.
6'6", 235 with a waist like this and shoulders like that can hold the earth.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently Chevy, my trainer Chevy, knows Jeff Nippard. He says, yeah, I've known him for years. Because he trains, when you see him do his like shorts, his videos and stuff, he's training at a Pure Muscle and Fitness. That's where my trainer's gym is. I go to that gym when I train with him.
Right.
Yeah, you don't have to call Sean your future your sister's fiance anymore. He's your brother-in-law now.
Yeah, he's my brother-in-law.
That's awesome.
He's my brother. It's legal. We signed the paperwork. My sister's just like a vehicle to make sure that we can legally be brothers.
He's your platonic life partner at this point. Mass Creation Broadcast.
Pretty much, yeah.
Things be happening, he says.
Like, fuck yeah. Oh, it's good dude. So much.
I was an MH-60K pilot in the U.S. Army. Yep, legit LOL. It's awesome. Oh, did you happen to
watching too next to him?
Did you happen to catch last week's debate between me and Porpoise? It wasn't Porpoise. It was what do you call? He was called Dave from America or
Steve from America. So Steve from America is Porpoise.
Yeah.
So that is Porpoise. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what he was. Like, did you watch the debate after the fact or no?
I watched most of it. It was very cordial. You're both doing a great job. I was a little concerned, actually. I didn't want to make you nervous. No, not at all. Not at all. I don't want to like break it down because outside of the debate, when you're not doing it, it's a little bit easier to catch things.
Yeah.
Right? Like, but you weren't doing poorly. I think Porpoise has calmed down quite a bit.
Yeah.
Because yeah, he was not like on the attack. He wasn't out to get you. He was just having a discussion, and that
Yeah, he
was,
probably
you
didn't
know,
because he
he's
doesn't
just
know me. He
he's
doesn't want to. He doesn't want to
very
like
persuasive,
ruffle feathers.
very good.
Yeah, he was very persuasive in his points. My
Ah,
my criticism of his points are essentially it comes down to this: some people are so bad they need to die. To which I'll say, yeah, you're right. There probably are some people that are so bad they need to die. And I felt that his dismissal of my concern over giving government that much power, and essentially what it came down to was expanding the death penalty to be applied to things other than murder. That's my biggest concern, because my concern there is that it's a slippery slope. Now his thing was, well, we already give the government the power to murder, and I'm like, yeah, we do in terms of like going to war and in other situations. Police might need to kill somebody in the execution of their duties. So yes, we give that government that much power. That's why I'm reluctant to give them more, right? And he was just, well, government's going to do what
for
government's going
sure.
to do, and I'm like, okay, in that instance, then criminals going to do what criminals going to do. So we're not responsible for their behavior; we're responsible for ours. So anyway,
That you're right. That was definitely the most flawed bit of the argument where he got me, and I was like, "Ooh, that's fucking strong." Actually, was when he's just like, they broke the contract.
the social contract,
Shit, they broke
the
the
non-aggression
contract. Like
principle.
it's
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, I understand
the
that too.
yeah, the same idea. Like if someone's attacking you right now, and the only way
Yes,
to stop them from killing you is to kill them, then
right,
you're in the clear. You didn't do anything wrong because they broke the contract. And
right.
it's like, holy shit, how far does that contract go? Like, what are the terms and conditions on this contract? Like, we really suddenly it's opened a whole new avenue of thinking about the whole thing. But it's still, I'm still on the side of we don't murder people, right? The knee jerk reaction is easy, right? It's he's got two daughters. That's why he respectfully disagrees with you. Knee jerk.
And I
I'd rather
understand
that
that.
guy just not exist for the sake
And
of
you
my
know
two
what?
daughters. I get it. I
Celtic
get it.
Canuck
But
made the
man,
same point. Celtic Canuck made the same point because I said, so what we've got here are basically the 2 points of view. The philosophical stance is better that an innocent man, that 10 guilty men go free than one innocent man suffer. In this case, and one innocent man die.
mhm.
And the other argument is better that 10 innocents die than one guilty person go free. And I'm of the mind of the former as opposed to the latter. Now, Celtic Canuck made a good point. She's like, I'd
Yeah.
rather those 5 or 10 innocent or guilty guys don't go free so they can prey on somebody else again. Sure, it comes back to the Batman argument. Batman would be a much more moral character if he just killed the Joker. But Batman has a code, right? He doesn't kill. He doesn't use guns, and he doesn't kill. Superman's the same way. That's why it's such a disruption to our expectations when we see Superman kill in the Man of Steel movie. 6 minutes is here. Good to see it.
Yes.
Because that is fate. Where's it? No,
Yeah. It's
I understand the destruction of a child's soul. I get that. I understand it, but I don't think it's necessarily the case. I don't want to rehash the entire debate. I don't think it's necessarily the case that kids
no, of
will
course
not.
not.
I'm of mind that Sam Adams, is that who originally quoted it? Sam Adams' compassion for the criminal is cruelty for the victim. I don't think it's compassion for the criminal so much that it is uh, compassion for the wrongly accused innocent. And the argument comes down to, and now Steve from America said,
It's
look, if I were convicted, if I were wrongfully convicted, even in a case where it was incontrovertible evidence, I made the point that, look, even incontrovertible evidence could be manufactured. Somebody could have it out for you to do a deep fake video of you committing the crime, planting your DNA, and forcing a confession. And you're still innocent. would you be okay with being executed, even though you know you're innocent? And he says, yep, I guess that's just how the cookie crumbles. I honestly don't believe that's the case. I think he would gnash his teeth the entire way and scream about the injustice of it all.
I don't care about that because that's not the argument. That's a neither here nor there part. Like, we have to function on the assumption that everything is kosher. You know,
that
function on the assumption that everything is kosher. Is this more
in this what?
Function on the assumption everything is function on the assumption that everything is good. Is it moral to execute a person? Right? Like that's the question. Don't
Is it moral to
don't ask questions about, well, what if it was faked? What if it was tricked? What if it was whatever? No. Everything is good. Is it okay to execute a person?
No, I don't.
That's the real question, with or without all of the ifs, ands, or buts, right? Like,
no,
I
don't.
Is this a thing that we should do? And I think no, we absolutely shouldn't, because if we're going to be or we're going to put it on some government entity or put it on anyone to be the moral arbiter, they have to be morally perfect, right? So yeah, it's there's this thing in Pakistan that happened where a guy from a village went to a neighboring village and raped some young girl, right?
Yep.
The courts found him guilty of rape and found that the correct punishment, what was moral and just, was for the father of the raped girl to rape the daughter of the rapist. Then everything would be even, right? That's what's fair. That's where you go when you start looking at this, well, broke the contract and, did a bad thing so we can do a bad thing to them. It's like, that's where you end up, right? Because they're not wrong. That's perfectly fair. But is it good? Is it moral? Is it just? I don't think it's those other things.
You're absolutely right.
It's not, but that's why we shouldn't think like that.
Right.
But that's why we shouldn't think like that. We should think higher, right? And there was something about how he mentioned something like about, oh yeah, the utopian idea, right? And forget about that. Sure, we will never perfectly achieve ideals forever. That doesn't mean we shouldn't strive towards it.
And that was the other thing. Like, that was the other thing he made a point is we're never going to have he said we're never going to have a perfect justice system. I'm like, you're absolutely right. That's why we shouldn't embrace its flaws, whereby innocent people will be convicted and executed. So
yeah,
I mean, maybe I didn't make that exact point, but we should work to make it more perfect. And only when it is as perfect as it possibly can be, can we think about applying the ultimate punishment. And I still think it's wrong. But I understand the idea for retribution. I understand the idea for, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, life for a life. I get that. I understand the argument for it. I just don't accept it as being a moral argument. And I speak Urdu. Good for you.
No, and again, like, no, he's been to Pakistan. Wouldn't recommend it for tourism. But if you're just sniping Pakis, it's totally cool.
You go there to fucking light shit up. It's a great place to go. Great place to go to light shit up. Yeah, no, I wouldn't want to go to Pakistan. I don't think I'd even want to go to India. India being, arguably the better place. I don't think it's that much better.
No,
Pakistan is what you get when you have Indians and then you decide to make them religious zealots who behead people and throw people off of buildings. India at least makes,
we want justice. Therefore, this man gets to rape your daughter.
That's right. India,
right? Like that's the other thing, right?
India they make like, halfway decent Bollywood movies that are sometimes entertaining.
Pakistan isn't recommended for locals either. Yeah, no shoot. Well done, Six. Well done. Oh man. India pays their contracts, but they bitch about it. No. Like, okay. This is I think the problem with the concept. That man's daughter was raped by another man who has a daughter. So what's fair is the man now gets to rape
Yeah,
the daughter.
as though it's like a
This is what people
desirable thing to do.
don't always get.
Here's the thing: the
But
rapist,
it is like that.
the
This
rapist
is
has
what I
no
mean.
problem.
No.
Sorry, go ahead.
It is. It is something we all desire to do terrible things. We're horrible and destructive, man. There's nothing more fun than getting to smash something without repercussion. Right? There are places that like collect garbage and junk and they make you pay $20, give you eye goggles and a baseball bat, and you go in and you get to smash that old aquarium and this stereo equipment and shit, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
they'll
yeah.
charge money for this, and we love it. We absolutely love it. And this guy did a bad thing. Now we get to do a bad thing to him. Oh my God, the catharsis that comes along with taking that guy's
I think
life.
there's a difference. I think
And
there's
I
no.
think that's not moral at all.
No, here's the thing. I think there's a difference between acting out aggression in a safe and non-destructive way to anybody's property or anybody else, and permitting people to act out acts of lust as a release, right? Acting out of aggression is a release. Acting out of lust would be a release, right? Here's the thing: the guy who raped, right? He has no compulsion about rape. He has no problem with the idea of raping a girl. As a matter of fact, if he raped someone else's daughter, who's to say he didn't rape his own daughter? Right? So you raping his daughter isn't going to be a huge like punishment to him. It reminds me of you ever watch V, Romanian TV?
Oh yeah, he was a friend of
Sargon.
Sargon for a while.
Yeah. So he mentioned how Eastern European and Romanian senses of justice are predicated on this very idea. You did something to make, to fuck with me. I therefore will do something now to fuck with you. That's how justice is done in Romania. So someone, if you run over somebody's bushes, their garden or whatever, you fucking take your car and you run over their garden, even if it's just an act of like carelessness, you didn't do it with malice. Well, now in response, the person who is aggrieved by that action feels that the only just way to deal with it is to do something equally terrible to that person. Even though one might have been an accident, it's okay to engage in a deliberate act of destruction if somebody accidentally destroyed something of yours. Or just through carelessness destroyed something of yours. And I'm like, that's not a good way to mete out justice. It might be fair, as you say it,
no,
but it's not moral.
Yeah,
you're right.
Like,
yeah, you're bringing another victim into the fuel. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and
what
like,
should happen is
the idea is to be better than that, and that's why you have impartial, ideally, arbiters that are supposed to be not doing what's fair, but what's right.
Right.
Like, you destroyed my bushes. Okay, well, the arbiter says then they have to pay for the replacement of those bushes, or they have to tend your garden for so many months or something,
until
right?
the bushes
okay, then you get to destroy their bushes also, right?
Yeah, that just leads to more destruction. Nobody.
It would be nice to that we're better than that animal instinct. But apparently, largely, we're not. Like, this is a myth that we're somehow above the animals
towards it, though, right? I think we because we have this evolved prefrontal cortex, we have surmise that there are better ways to behave than base animal, right?
Except I don't think we have.
What do you mean?
No, I think those anthropomorphic cartoons have it right.
We're just like
some people are wolves, some people are sheep, some people are crocodiles, right? Like they're just animals. The vast majority of humans are just animals that are following the herd, following the pack,
well, I agree with
following
that.
the flock.
I'll agree with that. Just look at Canada.
Like what we think, and what we think as human is like there's very few of us, man. You know, like there's only 23 other real people in the world. Okay. And the rest of them are just to distract you so you don't find them. Like,
yeah, maybe. But you know, Puck Daddy 93. You and Canada Man met him back at Canada Day last year in Toronto.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so he's active on X. He's active on X as Joanna Jar, and he mentioned, you know, he did a post about something about how Canadians, you know, I think he was showing video of a bunch of like 100,000 Brits in London demonstrating, demanding that Tommy Robinson be free, demanding that, you know, shit change there. And he's like, look at this. You know, these are Brits and they're standing up. It's like close to 100,000 across the city protesting, waving the, you know, English flag, you know, waving the British flag, you know, the whole bit, right? And he says, what's stopping Canadians? Like, what is it going to take for us? And Canada Man made a funny joke. Why aren't we doing this? Is what he said. And Canada Man said, it's playoffs and Cobra Kai is coming back to Netflix. And that's essentially what it is. The reason Canadians don't give a shit, and they won't even give a shit about these tariffs, is because fucking it's playoffs and Cobra Kai is coming back to Netflix. You can't ask me to possibly care about paying 25% more for shit coming across the border. And the ridiculous thing I'm seeing is we should just buy Canadian. Do you know how little we fucking produce for ourselves here in this fucking country? Yeah, we could probably get all of our groceries, but just about everything else is either, well, we also have no problem buying from fucking China. I love how, you know, Canadians are like, they'll buy from China where all these fucking human rights abuses are going on, where Canadian intellectual properties are being ripped off and Canadian patents are being ripped off all over the place. They'll buy it from China because they can get it cheaper at the dollar store. Yeah. But the United States puts tariffs on things, and all of a sudden, I'm not buying American. Fine. If you really think that boycotting American products is going to hurt them, it's not. If you really think you're going to get into a trade war with the United States and bloody their nose, you won't. It will be barely a fucking blip on anybody's radar. And the fact of the matter is, much like Canada, most people in America aren't paying attention. So they'll just do what they're told. If they're told to be mad at Canada, they'll just be mad at Canada. They won't be mad at Trump. I mean, some people will. But Trump is hugely popular right now in the United States. But that's the thing about our Canadian leaders that they don't realize. They think that Trump is a marginalized character. They think Trump is unpopular. He's extremely popular in the United States right now. And unlike Justin Trudeau, he's actually respected around the globe. And they can peacock all they want, and the fucking president or whatever the hell she is of Mexico can puff out her fake chest and talk about how fucking tough she is. But the fact of the matter is they're going to be brought to heel in very short order. And it's going to be because of the pressure from Canadians and Mexicans on their government, not because of anything Trump fucking did. Anyway, there are 10 people in the world, people who understand binary code and those who don't. That's good. I just won't drink Crown Royal. Problem solved. There you go. And this is the other thing. What's his name? Ebby? Some fucking premier from one of the provinces, I think out east, was saying that well, we're just not gonna buy American alcohol. So all the American, whiskeys like fucking Jack Daniels and any American bourbon it won't come into Canadian. It won't come into Canadian liquor stores. And then he said something about maybe we'll just make it red states that we won't buy from. So like Tennessee bourbon, Tennessee whiskey's not going to be coming in, but other stuff will. No, it's all ridiculous. It really is just it's peacocking, and it's going to accomplish absolutely fucking nothing.
So I lied. I have been listening a little bit, but I'm not really like working hard. I'm just listening to the stupidity, you know. All of our news stations are talking about, oh my God, Trump is doing tariffs. Trump is doing tariffs. Trump is doing tariffs. They never say why. And we have like a coalition of premiers that are like, we will fucking stand up to Trump. And we have our prime minister saying, oh, we will retaliate if necessary. And everything is on the table. Everything except fucking cooperating, right? They never once considered bloody cooperating, right? Maybe kick up your fucking fair share to NATO. Maybe secure your fucking border. Maybe stop being so in China's pocket. Maybe you could do those things, and the terrorists, and they're like, no, we're actually not going to do any of that. We're going to fucking retaliate. Are you out of your fucking mind? Like, so stupid, just absolutely retarded to not want to cooperate. This is what people don't understand. Give me a minute here. Imagine for a moment that you have a buddy from work, okay? And you say to your buddy, hey, remember when I helped you move those 2 times? And you said to me, you promised that when I need to move, you're going to help? I'm moving in a couple of weeks. I really need your help. Can you come up? No, I'm not going to do it. Are you busy or something that weekend? Like, what's going on? No, I'm just not going to. My guy, I helped you move twice. I bring coffees to work every day. I've never once asked you for a coffee. I just bring you a coffee every fucking morning. And I really need this help to move. No, I'm not going to do it. You know what? Fine. Fuck you then. I'm not bringing coffees anymore. How dare you? I will retaliate. What? Like, this is what our country is doing. This is how our country is behaving. This is supposed to be a friend. Right?
No, I
and
agree.
acting like a complete fucking cunt. Right? And never mind the fact that this guy's been carrying us at work, you know?
Yep.
Like in the group projects, this is the guy who takes the lead, goes full steam, and we just fucking coast alongside.
I used to make a comment about
the man's not kidding when he's talking about that, you know, the 51st state.
No, he's not. He's using that as a very what do you call it? Simple term. It's not going to be a 51st state. And I've said this before, and I'll preach it until it becomes reality. And this is not advocating for it, although I think it might make sense. Canada and Mexico, this whole tariff between the two nations is to bring these two countries to heel. And what's going to happen is we're going to be so hurt by it. Our economies are going to be so hurt by it. We're on the verge of economic collapse. We're going into a recession, probably a depression because of this. Mexico is not going to fare much better. What's going to happen is this is a tactic to bring us to heel prior to the North American Economic Union negotiations, because that's what's going to happen. Canada, the United States, and Mexico are going to form an economic union. We're going to run a common currency that I hope will be based on a gold-backed currency. And yeah, we're going to be made into an economic powerhouse alongside the United States and Mexico. And we're not going to be the 51st state, and Mexico is going to be the 52nd state. It's not going to be like that. We're still going to be sovereign nations. We're just going to be allied and unified when it comes to economics. And Greenland's going to be a part of that too. Because, love him or hate him, he's right about the North Atlantic. He's right about Greenland. He's right about how undefended our northern waters are in Canada. You know, if Russia really wanted to come in and fucking take us over from the north, they could easily fucking do it. And so, and because Canada's not paying its 2%, it needs to be
People
brought to heel.
still don't believe that there are Chinese army bases in Canada.
Exactly. Yeah. Like Canada is a vassal state of China, and it's a participant in the WEF global communist order. So yeah, of course, Canada needs to be brought to heel from an American standpoint, because it's almost like Canada's turning into Cuba. And you remember how having Cuba so close to Florida made fucking the Americans upset in the 1950s? Think about that. But your neighbor is right on your border and to the north, and has a largely undefended waters to the north, and is friendly with your biggest fucking rival in the world. Two of your biggest rivals, China and Russia, who right now have decided they're going to align themselves economically. It only makes sense for Trump to say North America needs to become aligned economically, and if he can do it, it'd be a good idea if the South America became aligned with North America as well, so that the entire hemisphere became an economic power. But that's not going to happen because Brazil's part of BRICS, right? But anyway, we have more nukes now. Just saying, yeah, but nobody wants to get into a full-scale nuclear exchange, right? Nobody wins. Cute doggos, by the way. Thanks, man. Yeah, those are my girls. That'd be Trinity and Kenzie. Tariffs are a bargaining tool. Yes, but I believe they're a bargaining tool. Yeah, they're a bargaining tool to get Canada and Mexico to come to heel, because this is going to hurt us a lot more than it's going to hurt the United States. Like, they won't fucking care at all. We're 10%.
But again, this idea, like coming, sorry, the delay, the coming to heel, it's like, no, you're supposed to be a friend, and you're not being a good friend. And I'm telling you, you're not being a good friend. And your response is, well, I don't have to be a good friend. Okay, then we're not friends. Oh, how dare you? How fucking oh, no. We picked a fight. We picked a fight with our closest ally.
Yeah.
And now we're offended that he's offended. It's
like, some would say that he picked the fight by issuing an ultimatum the way he did. But here's the thing. He did it when he wasn't even president. You had all this fucking time in the world to say, yeah, you know what? Maybe we should work with the incoming administration to meet the needs that they are saying we need to meet. Anyway. I've paired with using Ridgebacks and Shepherd-Noodle. Oh, cool.
Has not once. Oh, Ridgebacks. Yeah, nice. I have a ship in
Mexico is nukes
dangerous.
Radioactive jalapenos, mucho spicy.
Mucho caliente.
Mucho caliente.
I have a ship, a keelback in it's called a keelback in Elite Dangerous, and I called it the Rhodesian for the dogs, the Ridgebacks.
Yeah.
But no, again, this is like, from what I understand, Canada has not once kicked up its 2% for NATO.
No.
We've never done it. We're floating at 1.5, 1.6.
Yeah, but also,
can you imagine that you make an agreement with somebody, you sign a deal, and then you fail to come through over and over and over again?
Yeah,
and they get mad, and you're like, "How dare you be mad at me?"
It's like you're going to you're like, "Hey, we're a fucking gang, okay? Canusa, we're the Canusa gang, all right? And we fucking got each other's back, okay?" And Canada goes, "Yeah, man, we got each other's back. We're Canusa all the way." And then when they bring in Mexico, Canusa Mex, yeah, Canusa Mex, we're all the way. Yeah, we're a powerful fucking gang in this territory, and we got each other's backs. Absolutely, let's do this. And then, words on the street, there's going to be a fucking rumble between Canusa and the Euros, right? Or fucking the Rushies. The Canusa Mex gang is going to fight the Ruschins gang. And then you look and you see, all right, guys, we ready for this fucking rumble? You get in the fucking empty lot with all the broken bottles and the fucking cigarette butts, and you see Can comes up, your Canusa, your fucking fellow gang members from Canada come up, and they're all like looking nervous and shit, and they're all weaklings and out of shape, and they don't have knives. Instead, they got fucking licorice whips. They're gonna fight with fucking licorice whips. And you look at Mexico, and they're just all high. Every one of them's fucking high, and none of them are ready to fight. And you're the only one showing up. You've been fucking working out, and you've been shadow boxing, and you're ready to fucking go. And your buddy who's supposed to have your back is pathetic, and your other buddy who's supposed to have your back is fucking high, and you're like, fuck, what the hell, man? We're supposed to be a gang. We're supposed to be together. Anyway. By the way, I seen your game.
Right in the eye. Right.
That's shit.
No, this is the most important thing Nano Reaper's ever said to us.
What's that?
I was born in Rhodesia.
Which is no longer Rhodesia, is it?
That's the beginning of the end. People don't know this. When they took Rhodesia from us, that was the beginning of DEI. That was the beginning of white people bad. That was the beginning of let's destroy the West. They undid Rhodesia.
Yeah.
This was a fantastic place. This was a beautiful fucking country. Well, yeah.
You could say
look into this. Let Nano, if you don't make a fucking video about this, if you don't start with this and just go out and put that out there, holy shit. Yeah, I don't know all the details. I know enough to know that was the beginning of the end. The end of Rhodesia was the beginning of the end.
Yeah, well,
wow, like they even mentioned it in Blood Diamond. Oh, yeah, I'm from Rhodesia. Oh, we call it Zimbabwe now. Do we? Wow.
Yep.
Strange days, man. We live in the worst fucking times.
It's crazy. I don't know, man. I'm just here's my hope, okay? I'm not have a lot of hope for this. That Canada is shocked awake by the effects of these tariffs, that they don't fall for the Liberal NDP government's promise of providing economic relief to Canadians during this unprecedented time in the form of a UBI. And they don't fucking jump at that and go, yes, let's do it. But I fear they will. And that we have an election. Now they're talking about. What do you mean they can't what?
They can't UBI. Circle back to that. Go on.
Okay. I hear now that the Liberals might maneuver it in such a way so that there won't be election now till 2026. And I don't know how they're going to do that, but my understanding is they've got a way to do it. And I'm like, fuck that. Like, if that happens, then people need to take to the fucking streets.
Islander magazine issue 2. There's an article, "The British Betrayed Rhodesia." Yeah. There's a lot of fucked up shit that went down with Rhodesia, man. Right? Like they're working on undoing Australia. It's not going to happen. Not the way Rhodesia happened.
No, I don't think so either. Because it's full of fucking criminals and former fucking prison guards. You've heard about, and speaking of renaming, so you know that they're renaming a bunch of schools in Toronto. The Toronto District School Board is renaming a bunch of schools.
Johnny McDonald,
Dundas,
Buddy
and Ryerson. That's right. Apparently, those names are all associated with evil colonialism, and so they're going to try and rename them to something else. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Seriously?
They're undoing those places. They undid Rhodesia. They're aiming at undoing Australia, and they're undoing Canada.
Yeah.
They want to undo them. Like,
Well, you notice how every time somebody
it's
gets up to speak anywhere in Canada, they always have to do a land recognition fucking talk right beforehand. Hey, thanks
oh
for
man, my land
being
recognition.
here. We're just so you know, we don't actually belong here. What? Yeah, this isn't our land. We stole it. It actually belonged to the Algonquin.
No, my land recognition talk. No, my land recognition talk would start with, yes. So this is our land. We stole it by conquering the people who used to live on it. Because guess what? They conquered the people who used to live on it. Who conquered the people who used to live on it? It's a series of conquerings, and now we've stamped you out. This is it. It's ours now.
You want to hear my analogy for First Nations or Aboriginal Canadians or Amerindians?
First Nations is alive. Go on.
Okay. They are the equivalent of loser in terms of civilizations or societies. They are loser trailer trash of a society. And they've always been that. Here's the thing. They basically developed their society in a land that was harsh but abundant with wildlife and trees and minerals, and they never once decided, hey, let's develop this shit. They never even developed written language or the fucking wheel. They're the equivalent of people who just sit around in a fucking trailer park, get high and drunk all the fucking time, and think we don't have to worry because no one's going to bother us here. We can do whatever the fuck we want here. We can just fucking sit on our asses all day. No one's going to bother us. That's the American Indian, the Canadian Indian, basically society from its inception. They lived on a land where they could have exploited it, they could have developed it, and they didn't. All they did was hunt and fuck and kill each other. That's it. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. I've actually said this before that they talk about First Nations. No, you're not wrong. They talk about First Nations. They use the term First Nations. That's not correct at all. There was no nation. There was no national unity. It was a series of Stone Age tribal peoples who were constantly fighting each other. It was completely disjointed without unification, and they never had the opportunity to exploit it. People talk about, oh, it was a culture. The culture that they had what do they call that there? Like, not spoken word. That's bad poetry. Where you pass down stories,
oral tradition. They had oral tradition
by telling them. Oral tradition is what you are stuck with when you don't have writing. Okay,
right.
You don't have a culture until you have writing, because then you can actually start codifying it. You can build a proper codex.
Yeah,
they never had any of this. They were Stone Age people who got steamrolled by technology, right? And it's not a fault of their own. You know, they didn't have good animals for domesticated agriculture.
No, it is a fault of their own, because instead of looking at having the imagination to look at a specific type of mineral in the ground and saying, hey, you know, that's better than fucking flint for arrowheads. Let's try and extract that and make a better arrowhead. Instead of, saying, hey, moving all this fucking logs is really hard, just dragging it on the ground. Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we take some of these logs and turn them into a fucking wheel? Instead of doing that, they decided they were just going to hunt, fuck, and get high all fucking day. They got high on weeds in the land. They got high on fucking peyote, drinking cactus tea and fucking getting high. That's all they wanted to do. So they embraced living as a Stone Aged culture. Not even a culture, just a Stone Age people.
No, there's a technological flaw there. They didn't have horses and they didn't have cows.
Okay.
And that's really the huge difference, right? Is domesticated animals made a huge difference and a huge. So the horse, the cow, and the dog have had a greater effect on human success
But
than any
sure,
technology ever created by humans.
sure. But they had bison.
Right. Yeah, it took us from the Stone Age. Yeah, but bison can't properly be tamed, and deer are fucking skittish as shit.
No,
And
I get
like
it, but
deer
look,
are
okay,
retarded.
but
They're
we've
basically
domesticated
vegetarian rats.
cows and bison are essentially the same fucking thing. Just one of them has an afro. Cows and bison are essentially the same fucking thing.
No, God no. Oh God no. No. Bison are
Sure,
the
no.
last aurochs, right? Like go ahead. But I
here's the thing:
disagree.
the bison were
had
in
a
such abundance.
technological.
The bison were in such abundance they thought they'd never run out, and they just and fuck the amount of fucking bison they wasted just running hundreds of them off a cliff just so they could cart one back to their fucking teepee camp. That you know that shows a people without any foresight or imagination. They're going to chase them off a fucking cliff. Hundreds of them will die. 99% of the meat will be put to waste. The other, 1% will use to make fucking, necklaces and fucking arrowheads and put it in our clothing and shit. And then we'll eat the meat as well. And we'll make clothing out of the leather. I'm just saying they were on this continent for a long fucking time. And this excuse of, well, they didn't have the cow. Look, cows that we know today weren't cows that they found originally. They were much wilder creatures. They were much more muscular. They were much more dangerous creatures, but they were cowed into domestication by us. Bisons could have been done too if they had
the last auroch went extinct in like 1675.
Well, I don't know what an auroch is, but anyway, I'm just saying.
Oh,
they could have done it. They could have done it if
the wild cows, right?
Okay. What I'm saying is they could have done it if they hadn't been getting high on peyote all the fucking time and actually sat down and got the fucking work. They had everything at their disposal. They had everything at their disposal to move out of the Stone Age and into the Bronze Age. Hey, look, South America and Central America fucking did it. So why couldn't they do it?
Oh, again, they did it.
Well, sure.
Funny story.
They're a four-legged fucking what do you call it? Multi-stomached fucking creature. They could have been brought to heel. They could have been domesticated.
I don't know. I mean, still we have bison in zoos and they're not friendly, man.
No, they still fucking farm bison. You can eat bison burgers. They still fucking farm them. They farm them now. We're able to farm them now. It's just they didn't do it back then because they're too busy getting high on peyote.
No, but humans don't go out in the herd of bison. Like they'll be murdered by bison. You have to stay outside the fencing. You have to ride a horse with a gun, or you'll die. Like they will kill you on site.
You're right.
That's a fight on site.
They don't lead them in. They don't lead them into a gate and say, "Okay, now we're going to slit your throat, Mr. Bison." You're right. They're not cows, but they could be made to be like cows.
But again, we're talking about hundreds, perhaps thousands of years of domesticating, and the horse in particular is the real tool. The dog is the real weapon. And they didn't really have access to that. And when they met people that had access to those texts for 1,500 to 4,000 years, hard to say exactly how long. those people steamrolled them. Right?
No,
It was
you're
over.
absolutely right. It
They
was a
brought horses
technological.
in. They brought dogs in.
It was a technological imbalance, and absolutely that's why they were steamrolled for sure. What I'm saying is, had the people who settled here in North America prior to Europeans coming had the wherewithal and the imagination, they could have made life, they could have at least evolved to Bronze Age or Iron Age by the time Europeans came. But they didn't, because they were too busy
Again, I
getting high on peyote.
don't know that that's true. I don't know that that's true. Like, I mean, look, there's an Indian elephant
Are you
that
saying that
is
American Indians and Europeans are of the same intellectual capacity? And it's only the environment that kept
just
American
like
Indians
Sir John A. Macdonald did, yes. Just like Sir John A. Macdonald, yes, absolutely. I am saying that. I'm also saying there's an Indian elephant, right?
Yeah.
That was domesticated. You know, that like the South Asian elephant, it gets ridden by people. It's used as a like it's a pet, it's a war animal, it's a working animal. No one has ever done the same with an African elephant. It just does not happen. That African elephant is way, way out of reach for domestication. And I think that's what
They're
the
too
trouble they
smart.
had with the bison is
Yeah, they're
that
too smart. Well, I don't think bison are
the
particularly smart.
aurochs of
Elephants
Europe,
are smart.
I don't know the specifics. All I know is the auroch of Europe and the horses of the Middle East were ready for domestication. And the bison of North America was not. The African elephant is still not, right?
I,
But there's
I
some version of it somewhere
sure. I still suspect.
that was
I still suspect that the American Indians didn't even try. Like they didn't even try to better their situation. I think what it was is they found themselves in a land that was abundant and was their behavior, their lifestyle was easy. They could hunt for days because there were lots of fucking wildlife to hunt. They could, they could pick berries for days. They could fucking pick, apples for days, even though they weren't the same sort of apples. But they could live off the land the way they did in the manner that they did because the everything was abundant. They're on this giant fucking landmass, and apart from other tribes of the same people, they had no real competition. Versus you look at Europe, where you've got all sorts of people from different, you know, different backgrounds, all sort of competing and trying to engaging in an arms race to stay relevant in the entire continent. Plus, you've got the pressures from Asia, and you've got the pressures from Africa, all along, those waters that surrounded the continent. All of this interaction meant that there was a lot of trade, a lot of change of intellectual knowledge, and so those societies flourished in that way. Whereas in North America, giant landmass, sparsely populated by roughly the same group with the same level of technology, there's no real way for them to advance. There's no real way for them to advance in the same way that Europeans and Mediterraneans did. However, they still had everything they needed to advance, maybe sans the horse, but they could still have learned to exploit minerals. They could have learned to smelt. They could have learned to use the goddamn wheel, and they could have learned to write shit down. But they didn't feel the need because the land provided for them. And they set up a mythological structure that said the land would always provide for them and they never had to worry.
I don't know if it's a need or a mythological structure. I'm convinced the harsh winters are what made Europeans, especially Northern Europeans, learn more about farming and conserving.
Yeah.
Right. Storing food away,
Yeah. Whereas in
grasshopper
North
and ant,
America,
and
all they had to do was just migrate south. Whereas in Europe, where nations were already
right,
settled,
and they did
you couldn't just
regularly.
go south in the summer because you were going into a neighboring country where they didn't necessarily speak the same language, and they looked at you as a foreigner and would kill you just as soon as say hello. So, difference is North America is a different continent, right, with different biomes, but it's same latitude roughly. But yeah, no, it's interesting. I still think that they smoked way too much peyote, and that probably did them in.
It's funny because out of the two of us, I am the one who is blatantly racist, and you're like, no, fuck these Indians.
Yeah, domestication of the horse is probably a big part of it. Man. You're absolutely right. No, I'm being glib. I don't think they're bad people. I just think you're right. They should get on with the fact that they were conquered and say, okay, time to move into the fucking 21st century and quit complaining like we were done so badly. You weren't genocided because there's still hundreds of thousands of you in the fucking country. So get on with becoming members of the 21st century and start doing your shit.
It's over 1 million, and they're the fastest growing population in the country.
Is that right? They have a higher mortality rate, though, infant mortality rate, I believe.
It is.
Yeah, I believe they have a higher infant mortality.
Also an adult mortality rate and a teenage mortality rate. They have the highest mortality rate across the board.
That's right.
But they're still growing faster somehow.
They just keep making babies. They just keep fucking their daughters and sisters and making more babies. It's terrible. I'm a terrible person. My wife is Mexican.
How about the Jews, though?
How about the Jews, though? That's another thing. We got to do something about these Pakistanis fucking marrying their cousins and making a bunch of retarded Pakistani children. Bunch of retarded Pakistani anchor babies here in Canada. Canada has birthright citizenship, like actual birthright citizenship or birthright tourism, birth tourism, baby tourism. I got to say, I believe my brother, LOL. Fuck him. No, you know that Pakistanis by and large are they marry their cousins more than just about any other fucking ethnic group.
I mean, more?
Yes.
Or as much as, because
more
is relative, but
Asian.
guess what? The only place that doesn't actually do this is the West.
Yeah. More than Caucasians, let's say.
We in the West are very we're like, whoa, no, you ought not to marry your cousin. Everyone else, everyone who is not white is like, why not?
Because you get retarded kids. And the problem is because Canada
they don't care.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is, Canada has baby tourists, right? Like fucking birth tourism. So someone from Pakistan, so two people from Pakistan who are cousins, she gets knocked up. They come to Canada. They have a baby, even if they're not they just come here on a tourist visa. Even if they're not citizens, they have a baby. That baby's all of a sudden a citizen in fucking Canada. And now that
that's why Donald Trump moved executive order to end birthright citizenship.
Exactly.
And there was some sort of fight in a court.
Yes.
Someone's trying to fight it, and it's like, hold on. I was explaining this to someone at the gym, believe it or not.
Yeah. The 14th Amendment.
They heard all my arguments. They're like, everything you said makes perfect sense, and I agree with you. But we're talking about the government. The government doesn't make sense. No, the government doesn't do things because it's right or because it makes sense. It's like, here we are. This is where we are.
My issue is that
talking about the 14th Amendment, freed slaves are all citizens, so they get a vote. It's like it had nothing to do with,
because they're subject to the jurisdiction. They're born in the United States and are subject to the jurisdiction in which they live. Right? Someone who comes from fucking Mexico and pops a kid out, that kid is not subject to the jurisdiction because they're a guest. They're visiting. I mean, they're subject to the laws if they break the law, but a baby can't break the law. But they're subject to the jurisdiction because they are naturalized in that country as opposed to no. But in Canada, the problem with the Pakistani cousin couple, they pop out the kid in Canada even before the parents become citizens, and now we've got a retard living in Canada who's a citizen, and they're going to grow up probably not even raised by their parents, probably raised by a cousin or an uncle who actually is a citizen here in Canada or a permanent resident, and then they get a job driving fucking trucks, and then they kill people and take a shit on the beach. I don't like it.
Birthright citizenship is bullshit. Starship Troopers had it right. Yeah. No. Your parents are citizens and you're born here. You still have to earn your citizenship. I'm for that.
What were they called if you weren't a citizen in Starship Troopers? Like
civilian.
You were civilian. That's right. Citizen was like a rank within the military structure. Right, because it was a military.
No. Military. Civilian is someone who lives here, is born here. Citizen is something you aspired to be, and you made a point of being it.
Right, you're a member,
and that makes a kind of sense.
Yeah, you're a member.
I've chosen to be a member of the society. I have worked to be a member. Any civilian can just be a civilian. Go about there, be a sheep. Be your Disney character, anthropomorphized animal, little person. You can be that. That's fine. No one's going to take it from you. No one's going to stop you from living a free life, a full life. But a citizen, you have to work for that.
I agree. I hate birthright citizenship, by the way. The South Asian contributes to 85% of birth defects in the UK. I wouldn't doubt it. He also said 80% of Pakistani are inbred. Yes. Yeah, that's true. They marry their cousins like it's going out of style.
No, yeah. In a country of 1.4 billion people now, right? There's like a 60% chance that every Indian person is inbred, right? Like it's not actually that different in India as opposed to Pakistan.
No.
Same in China, right? Like you're getting close to 50% inbred, at least in our terms, right? There's an app in Iceland. It's the most popular app in Iceland.
Yeah.
It's called Are You My Cousin?
Somebody you're dating.
Yeah.
Because it's such a small population.
Yeah. Everyone. It's less than 500,000 people, right? So you hang out with somebody at the bar. Oh, hey, we hit it off. They use patronymics. That's the problem. You can't tell who's part of what clan and who's related to who if you've never met them. And then you just tap your phones together and it's like,
yeah,
we are fourth cousins. Is that are you okay with that? Because everyone is everyone's cousin.
Yeah.
In Reykjavik. Like you can track it back 5, 6, 10 generations and you're all cousins. So but in these places they embrace it. They're like, this is better. Yeah, no, don't go too far outside the community. Actually, you should probably my brother's daughter is fertile. So, son, you should go impregnate her. That's my niece. And my son is gonna marry her.
Iceland
this
also
is good.
All babies with autism. How do they tell that a baby has autism in utero? I can understand if they had Downs, but not autism. I thought they wouldn't know that.
Yeah,
plus autism is caused by vaccines, so how would they know? Kids aren't vaccinated. Nano's trying to do a meetup. Next 6 minutes, meet Victoria at some point for lunch, and also Irving and Craig. We can always have barbecue. Yeah, I'll go down to Texas. You guys are both in Texas. I'll go down to Texas. I've never been to Texas. I'd love to go to Texas. Problem is, you're afraid that if you go to Texas, you'll never come back.
I have plenty of vacation days.
Me too.
I know. I'll just disappear into the wilds of Texas.
That's right.
You'll
There's a
leave
place.
your wife. You'll just.
There's a place near. Oh fuck, where is it? There's a place that does.
Bye,
there's
Melina. I'm sexy now.
I'll go to Austin and become trans. I'm a woman now. There's a place in Austin, not Austin, Dallas, Fort Worth. Fuck, I can't remember. There's a YouTube channel called Stiltbeast Studios. The guy does monster makeup and monster props and stuff like that. He makes masks, and he does this like workshop. It's like a weekend long or 4 days long or something like that, where you go there and you get to learn to make like a mask. You get the mold and everything, right? And part of me is like, I really want to go do that. I'm sure there's a place in Toronto where I could do it, but I've never been to Texas, and I'm so like sort of enraptured by this guy's channel and all the shit he puts together and this little class that they do. And I'm like, fuck, I kind of want to go do that now. So yeah, I would love to go down there and make a mask. I have streamed with Irving before. We did 3 hours on George Floyd shit. Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, Nano was back in the day when I was far too open, and Pox. We should talk behind the scenes with Pox. But yes, Nano's been around, man.
Yep.
But he's actually been doing real life shit, and that's great. I'm so happy that he's doing well. Managed to buy a yacht, is now mapping the ocean floor, just fucking plowing the rowing machine. Good for him.
Yeah, he does salvage operations. That's pretty cool. He's got a salvage ship.
Yeah, that's fucking wild.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Spanish doubloons. I'm not much of a driver, so Texas can be a problematic place to live. Yeah. It's fucking huge. It's not as big as Ontario, but it's huge.
Close. Very close.
Yeah, very close in terms of area.
Yeah.
So people don't think much about Ontario. People think Ontario, that's Toronto, Hamilton, and places, a little bit east of Toronto, a little bit west of Hamilton, but nobody thinks about,
Yeah, the Arrowhead, right? Like,
yeah, no one thinks about Cochrane or fucking
Thunder Bay,
Thunder Bay. Yeah. Yeah, they're all in Ontario.
Yeah.
I did map the U-boat. Pretty cool. We have more salsa. There's a test for autism, an in-utero test for autism now, apparently.
How?
I don't know.
Autism is like, it doesn't make sense.
It's a brain chemistry thing, isn't it? Isn't it a brain damage thing?
No, it's not a brain damage. It's like a input processing thing. How do you determine the processing?
Well, it's got to do something. It's got to do something to do with the what do you call this? The sensory system, So
no,
Ontario has only rattlesnake in Canada. Yeah, I think we also have black widows here in Canada. Black widows are in Ontario. You can find them in Ontario. But as far as venomous snakes, what's the one? There's the corn snake and then
Massasauga rattler.
Massasauga rattler, but there's two snakes that look very similar. There's a corn snake and the other one that's actually venomous.
King snake.
King snake. Is king snake in Ontario? Do we have king snakes here?
I doubt it. I don't think we have corn snakes either.
Maybe you're right.
They're warmer climes kind of snakes.
Yeah.
And wait, yellow and black together, that's dangerous.
It's
Right. Yellow is toxin, black is death. And if those rings line up, run away. If the yellow and black rings are separated by some other color, you're fine.
no, it's red and yellow. Okay, fellow. Red and black, stay back, or something like that. I can't remember what it is.
Oh, suddenly we're all getting fucking bit by snakes and dying.
Just ask the
we
kid
have
Star Wars
all
question.
of us have it wrong.
If they say actually they're autistic. Yeah, that's right. I remember working at a comic book store. There was a kid fucking correcting me on clone troopers and stormtroopers. I was like, wait, aren't the stormtroopers just like clones? Actually, no. The stormtroopers were recruited from the larger empire. The clones were all died out after blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, see, I didn't fucking know. There you know. There you go. I thought that's why they were all clones, because when you hear the two fucking talking, and near the tractor beam cutoff area where Obi-Wan Kenobi's like moving around that little platform, and you hear the two talking about the new ship. Hey, have you seen the new whatever? Yeah, it's pretty cool. Or no, yeah, it's awesome. They both have the exact same fucking voice. That's why I thought they were both clones. Anyway, do you guys like snakes? I want one so badly, but I'm not allowed. LOL, I want a python. What do you mean you're not allowed? You're a grown fucking man with a job. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
No, he's got a wife who's my sister, and she's
But it's your
deathly
job.
afraid of
It's your
snakes.
job. It's your
When
job
we were
to convince
kids,
her that it's okay to don't get a python. They'll kill you. It's your job to convince her that snakes are cool.
no. When we were kids, we used to walk down this creek, and
Yeah.
she like got like a foot away from a fucking garter snake. I
And she
tried to
freaked out.
catch it, but she fucking flipped her shit. Like she was screaming all the way home. Not even while the snake was there. She
How
would
old was
not
she?
stop screaming.
How old was she?
Like 4 or 5. She
You're
was
younger
very
though,
young,
right?
like 4 or 5, right?
And this your younger
No,
sister or
no,
older?
she's my younger sister.
Okay.
Yeah, no. I was like 8 or 9, and I tried to catch it, but I couldn't. And she was like 4 or 5, and just like, yeah, no,
Freaking out, yeah.
she was toast. Like she was out of commission. The only thing she could do all the way home was scream. It was really terrible. I felt so bad for her.
That's funny. Yeah, I don't mind snakes. I don't think they're good pets
I've had a
personally.
snake since. I've had a pet snake, and they're not a lot of work, but man, if you're living with someone who does not want snakes, oh,
Yeah. I
it
just
will
don't
be a
think
lot of
reptiles
work. Don't.
I don't think mammals and reptiles connect the same way that mammals and other mammals do. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you
reptiles.
you have a pet bird. They're very social creatures and they get along with humans really well. You have a pet fucking guinea pig or a dog, right? These things
Yeah,
know how to like connect with us in a way. But fucking snakes and lizards and shit, I don't.
mammals instinctively love you. Mammals instinctively love you. Birds can learn to like you
Yeah,
and even love you.
yeah.
Reptiles typically don't.
No, you're a
And
fruit first.
yeah, you've got to work hard with a reptile to get it to trust you. Like they're very reptile brained.
You had a pet hedgehog
There's no way
before.
to escape that.
He had a pet hedgehog before he met her. Oh, that's cool. Did you name it Ron Jeremy? I think that's the only appropriate name for a fucking pet hedgehog.
You guys have a cat. Maybe you could get a small dog, right? Like
Yeah.
stick to the mammals. You'll be happier.
We have a cat
Again,
called Mac.
reptiles, especially like if you get like over reptiles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a cat called Mac, a dog called Kenzie, and another dog called Trinity. Three dogs. Yeah, 3 dogs would be too much. The fucking Trinity is a goddamn menace. So I can't imagine another fucking dog in his house. There's our pets right there. So
No, I mean,
that's Trinity. The one closest to the
fucking
door.
geckos don't care about you.
No, they don't.
No.
These are all the pets we've had. Up in the top corner there, that was Roxy. We got her from Melina's sister. She was an old dog when we got her. She was about 7 or 8 years old. The reason we got her was because when they had their second kid was deathly allergic, like we had bronchial issues just because the dog was in the house. So we took the dog. This one down here, the cat at the bottom is Mac. That's our current cat. This is Jules. He was our first cat. He was a lovely cat. This is Ashley. She was a good cat, but she wasn't very happy. I think she would have been happy with an old lady who moved around very slowly. She was very skittish all the time. There's Trinity. She's a fucking menace. And there's Kenzie. She's best dog. She's good dog.
I don't have any pictures on this show. Gordo. The Gordo. Gordo's famous. He's in books now.
Is he really?
Yes,
Naughty
yeah.
Styles. I like Naughty Styles.
6, I've been reading. I actually took the time. I set up the book on my treadmill while I read. Holy shit. You do not pull punches. You just fucking dive us into this thing. Wow. This is it's a wild story. And my God, do you need an editor for fucking typos? But holy shit. You just drag us into this by the like you shove fingers up our nose and pull us into this world. This is some incredibly wild shit. I actually had to slow down and reread some stuff just to make sure I'm holding on here. Yeah. Have you been reading any of Six's stuff?
No, I got to get past the Spanish stuff. I'm sorry, Six. I started reading.
Spanish is not like a problem. Like
I can't read Spanish. So I got to get past it. I got to fucking translate it. I got to do it, like take my camera and translate it to read it.
I read Angel. I read Ghetto. I read like the Spanish is the least of my fucking problems. Like, holy shit. Right away on the first couple of pages, fingers up my nose, and I'm being pulled into this. And again, yes, God, this whole thing is riddled with typos. 6. Oh my God. Oh. But I'm involved. I'm involved now. Hey?
He's got a lot of typos, does he?
Oh yeah. Oh. But that doesn't matter. Like, it sort of matters. You should fix it.
Second printing.
But I'm involved. That's the important part.
I taught my dogs to poop off the transom. Good for you. Fish must love it. I'm working on my old world man army. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I never met Gordo. I've seen him on video, but I've never met him.
video pictures. Yeah, Gordo was the man. Again, God, I have no picture. I can't even share fucking pictures of Gordo.
You don't have pictures on your computer?
Not on this laptop. No, I fried my computer with my shitty superpowers. So on this laptop, yeah, I have nothing. But we're also at that time, that 2-hour mark. Do you have you know what we didn't do? We didn't do games.
No.
We need to do some games. We need to
I want to play. I want
we
to. I
need
want
to
to run
do
El Camino
yeah.
or what do you call it? Elite Dangerous.
We'll do both when we can swing it. Do you know the show The Expanse?
I've seen parts of the first season. I haven't seen the whole thing.
And it's books apparently. I would actually really enjoy, I think, running a campaign
Like a
of an
sci-fi.
RPG of The Expanse. I don't know if anyone's made one.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but in the Expanse, it's all humans. There's no aliens, right?
So there are some aliens, but they're mysterious, out our system, and billions of years old and possibly extinct.
Yeah, but it's not like they're
Right,
playable.
but yes,
they
it's
wouldn't be a
mostly
playable
human.
character. They wouldn't be a playable character.
Correct. Yes.
I'm working through the new Indiana Jones
but
game
it's
now.
wild and good. Like Earthers and Martians and people from the belt
Yeah,
are
Belters.
very different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Belters are like they evolved in zero gravity, so they don't do well in heavy gravity. Yeah.
And some of them are actually now starting to mutate and stuff, like where they end up 7 feet tall with super thin, brittle bones and stuff. Like, yeah, it's weird. You're 1,000 years. They never specify.
Yeah.
But it's dozens of generations into the future.
Makes sense. You consider they're out in the belt. They're being exposed to cosmic rays, so mutation's going to happen much more quickly, right? Over fewer generations.
Gravity is lighter.
Yeah.
But gravity is lighter, right? So like, so they grow taller and more brittle.
Mm-hmm.
It makes a kind of sense. Like everything that's one of the things that is like hailed for The Expanse is in the books and the show they stuck to this is scientifically what would likely happen to people.
Right. People on Mars would have larger chests, like bigger barrel chests, because of the difference in pressure.
And the Martians, they train in Earth gravity,
right,
to fight on Earth if they ever have to invade Earth, right? So like they're very, very tough, very strong. You know, there's it's not till like the 5th season that you're ever actually on Earth's moon and someone is pouring a drink and the drink trickles out and slops down in this really slow 1/6 gravity movement.
Mhm.
And they never mention it. They don't point it out. They just pour a drink. Like they pay good attention to all of this stuff. But you created El Camino. If you ever delved into that show, The Expanse, and wanted to create the
Like a sci-fi game?
RPG for The Expanse, yeah, no, Expanse specific,
Yeah, yeah.
I would trust you to do it.
Oh, thanks, man. Sean, I'm looking for
Oh
a
yeah,
picture of that.
you take this shit seriously. You do a good job here. Yeah, you do it justice.
Oh,
So
thanks. I'm looking for a picture of my cat, Mac. Yeah, here he is. He's sleeping. Let me share. There's Mac sleeping on the couch.
the moment I tried to share it, everything went wild. Oh, oh, what happened? You took it
I
down.
got rid of
I
it.
didn't
I
do
took
it.
it down. No, I took it down.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I'd like to run El Camino again using the new rule system, which is more like Deathbringer
Let's
rules. It's
do
much
it.
more simple. Okay, I'll get something going. No, we ain't got Mr. Pox Soxic tonight. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, he didn't show up. Late and gay as all shit.
But the author went nuclear in 2016. Yeah, I watched the first season, like about half or 3/4 of the first season, and I'm like, I just sort of lost interest. I don't know why. Didn't hold me. Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm yawning. You're yawning. You're drunk. I'm not.
No, I mean, man, they killed my favorite character at the end of the 5th season,
Thomas
going
Jane's
into the
character?
last season, and apparently it was because the actor, which
Thomas Jane's character, the detective, did they kill him?
no, they killed my first season. They kill him,
That's
and
too bad.
it's a great ending. And then he comes back in the 3rd season.
How if they killed him in the first season?
But my favorite character, Thomas Jane. It's the act Thomas Jane.
Oh, okay.
I think he's expensive, and that's why they had to keep him under wraps and close quarters and all that. It's such a great story. It starts small and just starts to like explode beyond everyone's expectations and ability to contain what was like a minor infraction legally.
Yeah.
And now it has all these political implications and all this, and Earth, Mars, the rest of the belt, everyone is like all involved now.
Mm-hmm.
And they killed, like, Thomas Jane was the draw in the first season, and then they killed him off because he had to die because he was that, like, it's a series of books, right? So, but they did get my attention, and I followed for quite some time, but then they bring him back.
Was he a clone or something?
Without spoiling anything.
All right, well, don't bother. Nano wants to run an old
Again,
D6
hard to explain without spoiling.
Nano says he wants to run an old
The
D6
Expanse is worth watching.
Yeah.
And The Expanse is so cool. I would actually want a game, an RPG based on it. Like you could be an Earth politician, you could be a fucking belter salvager, you could be a Martian Marine. All of these are playable character classes, and they all end up on the same goddamn ship in the show. Right? Like you could do it. You could make this something fun and crazy. And yeah, but for now, let's focus on El Camino.
Okay. Sounds good. I've changed a few things with how it plays, though, eh? So you know how normally when you play a game, you derive your hit points based on your profession or your archetype, your class, whatever.
Sure.
In this, I've done it. You derive your hit points based on the race you choose. So goblins have the least amount of hit point, the smallest hit die. Dwarves, humans, and elves have the same hit die, and orcs have the bigger hit die because they're bigger creatures. I think it just makes more sense. Elves, humans, and dwarves are roughly the same mass, but orcs are bigger. Goblins are tiny; they're like 3 feet tall, so it makes sense that they don't have as many hit points.
This is not different. You know why I like El Camino?
Why?
Because you fleshed out a world, not because you like consolidated your crunch. Like your crunch is imaginary. That's the most imaginary part of this imaginary world. You actually like, I don't care if I'm a teenaged human or a decrepit orc who's trying to get his dad's body back to Florida. None of that matters. What matters is you made a world in which things are consistent, right? And we can play in it. That's what you did.
Oh, thanks. Right? I really have sort of envisioned the world a certain way. Now it's just getting it down on paper and making it believable. Nano Reaper says that's racist. It absolutely is. The game is a very racist game because you've got our world, human world, that all of a sudden, boom, just has these magical races in it and all sorts of magical creatures. The geography's all been fucked up, and people have to try and get along. And invariably, there are going to be racial tensions between the different groups. So yes, the game sort of leans into the racism of it all.
But that's like part of it is like how do I explain this? You leaned into, quote, the racism, but you leaned into the world.
Yeah.
And the world has advantages for some people and not for others. And those who don't have those advantages in the world, they have other advantages and they can exploit them. And you create the opportunities for them. You literally covered it. And what's great is it's not really that different from the real world. There's just kind of some magic and some knife-eared bitches.
That's right. That's right. Everybody who's not human is referred to as a knife-eater. All like dwarves, elves, goblins, and orcs, they all have slightly pointy ears.
But you just made the real world. Like that's what you did. Is you remade the real world in your image.
Tried to.
But it's very late. We've gone well over time.
Yeah.
Thank you for making me feel a little less sad about my fucking beast of a computer. I've got so much shit to do tomorrow. But yeah, you
Craig, you
really
owe me a thank you. I married this crazy
like
mofo
you
sister.
took me
LOL.
from a place of and now we're having a good time.
Yeah, of course.
And I hope all of y'all have had a good time too. Nano, thank you for hitting up the subscribe star. That's like nonsense. I don't even know why you did it. That is fuck. I don't know how to repay you. I don't think I ever can. That's way too kind and
You have to go
so
you have to go to
generous.
Texas. You have to go to Texas and buy him barbecue.
I will if I can, when I can. We're doing that.
All right.
Craig, do you have like jokes or thoughts or what?
Any thoughts? In case nobody's told you today, I'm happy you're around.
Makes me want to cry a little. That's so nice. It really like Craig, I'm happy you're around. I'm
That's
happy
funny.
Nano's around. I wish Potts was here to hear it. I'm happy he's around. 6. You know, fucking Sean, my guy, he doesn't need to hear that. I talk to him as often as possible. C-Mac, she did not show her face today, but if she's listening, I'm happy you're around. Like,
yeah, she may be working.
I really am, and so is Craig. Like, we're
Pox has been here all night. Epsler, he's just been lurking. He hasn't said anything. Oh, he's been playing No Man's Sky. That's why.
My nigga.
My nigga.
I just hey. I hope you know. Even we feel your presence, even in your absence. I hope you know that, right?
I made it.
We miss
I made
you.
a joke in the chat. I made a joke in the chat to Pox. He shared a picture of the Hard Rock Cafe with all the letters of the word rock out except for the R. So it said Hard R Cafe. I'm like, you need to open up a restaurant called the Hard R Cafe where it serves like Southern black food. And every time, when a patron comes in, you have to greet them with "Sup, nigga."
Like Hard Archive, like holy shit.
Yeah, Hard Archive.
It wasn't until I said it out loud that I understood what was happening. Hard Archive. That's so good.
For the Hard R Cafe. Like Hard Rock, but Hard R. Hard R Cafe.
Hard R Cafe.
Oh, my hair is getting crazy.
To anyone who's listening, black or white, or racist or not racist, hey, this is a place. I hope you understand. This is a place where we will judge you and accept you at the same time.
That's right.
Right. Like, yeah. What's that? You're black or Jew or a black Jew? I'm gonna disagree hardcore. And Craig will agree with you because he's like a Zionist or something.
I don't even know what that is.
We're gonna be like,
I don't even know what a Zionist
but
is.
come back. Let's all chat.
Okay.
But let's
That
all
was-
have this conversation. Let's
Let's
all
do it.
let's all shit in the same bed.
We'll have a deep conversation next week about what is Zionism and is it worth it?
It's not.
Is this
Spoiler
beneficial?
alert.
All right, man.
So jokes, Craig? You got a joke?
No, I really don't. I'm sorry. Fuck.
Yeah, no worries.
Why did
this
why
was
did
a sad stream?
why did the depressed moth go into the podiatrist's office?
Because the light was on.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah, that's perfect. We can cut it now. Good night, everyone. I'm cutting the stream. I'm hitting the buttons. Have a good night. Thanks for sticking it out with us. And we will see you next week. Ammunition. There are no links in the description because of my computer fucking problems. Holy shit. So soon
You know where
I'll
to
be
find it.
repaired and you all can get back to your normal lives. Yeah, find us, please. Good night.